just in case we need it. There we go. All right, everybody. So the microloan updates on 4/3, we had announced you can get copies of signatures on microloan notes. I want to clarify something in that. If you read into the legislation, it is just that. It is a copy of a signature on the note. It is not e-signature in the sense of encryption and digital writing. All right, I'll reshare the slides. Got it. All right. Yeah, unfortunately, we've got a lot of bandwidth going on here. We're reconnecting and putting the slides up. So hold on there. There we go. Hopefully you can see them. So be tolerant. So again, on 4/3, we mentioned about microloans. You can use copies of signatures on the note, and then within 6 months, you'll replace that note or re-sign that same note with a blue ink signature. It's very important that you understand we are not allowing for encrypted or digital signatures. If it has an encryption key on it, it's ineligible as a signature because, once again, as we talked about in the past, you can't transfer that note in the event we had to take over. So we made this even more simple in the sense that it is merely a copy of the signature. Dan, did you want to say something?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, I'll keep
Okay.
going. Put him back on mute. All right, let's see here. So we're going to number 2. Please, I mean, today's the magic day. It's the 7th. Make sure everything's up to date in MPERS in regards to your microloan payment. I will reshare the slides again. Sorry, we have a lot of bandwidth issues. And we have a lot of people. They're coming back on. Got it. Let's see. All right. We're sharing that screen. Now let's get back to the PowerPoint. Hang on. Let's try it again. That's the screen we want to share. Okay, it's reconnecting. We'll be sending out copies of this slide, so fear not. There's no dramatic 3D effects being applied today. So just go ahead and listen in the best you can, and we are recording as well. So again, make sure you update all your microloan notes. I'm going to share it again. Not sure what's going on with the screen today. Because the data being updated in MPERS is going to be used for the CARES Act payments, and we'll share more on that in just a moment. FYI, grants are still targeted to close on April 17th. Please do your best to hit that mark. If we delay grants, we delay getting you much needed funds that are going to be needed beyond this month and next month. So we want to make sure we get that technical assistance money into your hands. We've been pretty proactive. You know, a lot of you have been contacted by us, but if you have an SBA loan that's going to be paying off in the next 6 months, please contact your analyst and let them know. Again, this involves the CARE Act, and we want to make sure that we're able to address all microloan borrowers are able to take advantage of the CARES Act under Section 1112. So let's talk about the CARES Act, Section 1112. Congress empowered the SBA to pay the regular principal and interest on payments of the microloans that are in regular service. Regular service means loans reported in MPERS on time, no later than April 7th, and are under 121 days delinquent. So that's a pretty broad scope, but we're hoping we'll be able to help as many borrowers as we can. So what does that mean? SBA will send funds to you, the microlender, along with a report outlining how the money should be applied to each microloan. Should match up to your regular principal and interest payment within MPERS. You will credit the borrowers and update MPERS accordingly. If the microloan is on deferment, you shall apply the payment that we send you to the next payment coming due after the deferment period ends. If the microloan is delinquent, the payment is applied to the oldest payment due. So we're not catching up. Hang on, do we? Those payments, I'll get to you there, Kim. Just hang on there. Please hold your questions to the end, and I'll get to you. The payments will be coming from the SBA this month. We're still trying to figure out if it's going to be a lump sum payment or we're going to pay you every month, but we will get to you. But the application of the payment, that's what I need you to pay attention to right now, is it'll apply to the oldest loan. So if the loan is 60 days late, you will apply the payment to the oldest period or oldest payment due. Theoretically, you will receive 6 payments. Unless the borrower makes up those delinquent times at the end of the 6-month period, it would still be 60 days late. So please keep that in mind. The borrower is responsible to make up for anything that is late. We are going to pay the regular payment. So that's very important. Okay, in the event a microloan borrower has already made you a payment for April because this situation wasn't well timed, it's at the end of the quarter and at the top of the month, the intermediary, you guys, will need to contact the borrower and ask them what you are supposed to do with the payment. You can, number one, the intention of the act is for you to return the payment to the borrower so that they have that monies available to help them during the COVID crisis. Or apply it to the payment should the borrower choose. It's the borrower making this choice, and you'll need to document what they have chose. So they'll send you an email and say, hey, microlender, I would like you to refund my payment, or I'd like you to apply my payment as a principal application only, or maybe have it act as a payment. So this is very important. Now, this will continue on between now, well, actually since March 27th, we've been updating and correcting those MPERS entries through September 27th, 2020. So not only your active portfolio now will receive 6 months payments, but any new microloans you make between March 27th and September 27th, they too will receive 6 months payments applied to their loan. So that is the plan for that, and your loan must close by September 27th. The CARES Act currently has $17 billion set aside, not just for our program, but other programs as well. But we've already earmarked our first tranche of money to go out. So there you go. Yes, I meant, did I have 2019? I'm sorry, it's 2020. That is a typo. Thank you, Bertie. That's why we invite you to these things to correct me as we go. So it is microloans between 3/27/2020 and 9/27/2020. Thank you. And I know you like correcting me, Bertie. Thank you. Again, that's the whole purpose of why we invite you to these things. As you can see, we were the ink was still drying on this, and we were still typing as we go. So I'll ask for your patience, and before we send it out, we will correct it. So again, you do have to have that microloan closed by September 27th, 2020 for it to receive 6 payments. Lenders, Please do not refinance your portfolio of other loan programs you manage into our program to receive these payments. We are going to analyze your microloans. Please do not take advantage of us at this time. We will be re-looking at these loans over time. So please make sure you're only doing loans that will help businesses today, not refinancing their old debt into our portfolio. Okay, at no time shall a borrower exceed $50,000 in the microloan program. We have been updating the system, and one of the things it does now is MPERS will mark your loan as incomplete should the borrower have another microloan out there, and your microloan is going to be in excess of $50,000. So that loan, number one, will be incomplete and not counted into the SBA portfolio, and it will not be covered under Section 1112. So that's very important. So let me read a couple questions that have come through and see what we have here. So first and foremost, I'm talking into the monitor, Dan. I will unmute you. Apparently I muted you, Dan. Let's see. Are you able to say how much of the $17 billion is set aside for microloans? We're guessing right now probably right around 40 million, and that's just our first tranche, and we're talking with our CFO. We have enough to cover the payments. That's the intent. So we should be fine going into the new loan volume you're going to present. So to clarify, if we gave some borrower a 3-month deferral, they would have the deferral time and get 6 months SBA payments. That is correct. That's what we're saying. I've been locked out of CAFs for a week. Okay, if you're having CAFs problems, you should at this point contact your analyst and we will get you in contact with somebody, hopefully, that can help you. Anytime you are stuck for more than a week, we would hope that you would reach out to us so that we could help you. You're going to need to really get those loans in there because there is no way we're going to be able to pay your borrowers if it is not updated. On new loans, is there a cap on how much the monthly payment can be? It is the regular principal and interest payment on the loan. So if you're giving a 3-year loan, a 4-year loan, a 5-year loan, please do your regular principal and interest payment. A lot of the corrections we had to make was because people put in the wrong payments in on their microloans. You need to put technically the payment that's in on the note for the principal and interest. You're not allowed to use this program as a credit line. You're not allowed to have ballooning payments. It cannot be 3 years interest only. Those are all illegal formats, and we will be looking at that very closely during the site visits this year because it has been shown quite a bit that we're having illegal structure of microloans. Please follow the SOP. What time is the deadline on the 7th? You have to get it in by midnight. So welcome to our all-nighters. So we'll be here. So for the person that had MPERS problem, contact your analyst right now, and they will get you in contact, or contact Nathan McGinty. That's nathan.mcginty@sba.gov, and he should be able to help you. How do we communicate what our payment will be on each SBA? Many of our loans were not fully dispersed. When you put it into the system, into MPERS, you needed to load it into the system at that time what the regular payment would be. All right, we'll move on and come back to questions. So, continuing, the payment and the report outlining how much to apply to the payment under Section 1112 will be sent to you by the end of April. Please check SBA.gov or contact your headquarters financial analyst for any microloan clarification. Things are very fluid. Things are changing, as you all know, on these programs. as we speak. So you need to go check at SBA.gov. I see a lot of advertisements advertising things that are not necessarily correct or extremely outdated as it relates to a lot of these relief programs. So you need to stay in contact directly with the SBA as your source for SBA loan information. Again, you can contact your analyst or go to SBA.gov. Very easy to navigate. Okay, some corrections. Listen up. Under the CARES Act, they rescinded the interim final rule we had, which allowed you to make microloans up to 7 years. So that means starting now, you're back to only doing 6 years until we get that corrected. In the rush of legislation, we got knocked out of our 7-year window. If you did 7-year loans, that's okay. Don't worry about it. You're done. But don't do any more 7-year loans. If you restructured a loan, you're done. Don't do any more until we get this corrected. Now, keep this in mind. Listen very carefully. The microloan can support EIDL loans, EIDL loans, as a bridge loan of interim financing. Those are disaster loans. Please understand, EIDL loans are not PPP loans. Microloans will not be paid off by PPP proceeds. Those are not the same programs. So don't make that mistake. Intermediaries may still defer their SBA loans up to 6 months. Interest will still accrue and the maturity dates will not be extended. SBA will recast those loans at the end of the deferment period. Please keep in mind the best way to get hold of us is by email. We are working around the clock and we are responding to our inboxes. So please be mindful that your request should be for microloan programs. That is what we're working on. PPP questions can be addressed by going to the hyperlink shown here on this slide, or easily put for those on the telephone, SBA.gov. The slide I send will direct you all the way down to the COVID relief, coronavirus relief options, paycheck protection program. So you'll go right there. Thank you for your understanding during these fluid times. Things are constantly changing. Couple reminders. Do not let your IMPERS access expire. You've already heard somebody having a horrible time trying to get back into CAVS. The CAVS team is supporting every other program, and they are spread very, very thin. If you're an authorizing official for your organization, be proactive and make sure all of your accounts have been updated. Do not let this lapse. All other rules of the microloan program are in effect. Yes, you must maintain proper collateral coverage at all times. Yes, technical assistance is still at 50-50. Yes, you must supply supporting data for all microloans that you make, all your new microloans. You need to have complete folders and files on those and separate if you're reworking with older customers. These are separate loans that you're doing each and every time. Yes, you must update IMPERS. Yes, you must still submit your grant reimbursements and or your grants. We want to get that money into your hands. Yes, we will still you will still be required to do your IMPERS quarterly reporting. We still must do compliance. The law says we got to do it in order to get you your grant money. And again, yes, you can contact us with any questions you may have. Dan, I've opened your mic. Do you have anything you want to add?
Okay, can you hear me now? Hello?
Try it again. Once again, Dan can't be heard.
Okay, can you hear me now?
We did a sound check.
Can you hear me now?
No,
Hello?
once again, I can't hear him. All right, keep going, Dan.
Okay, yeah, it sounds like people can hear me. I guess I'll just type, bear with me here for a second. I'll just give Chris the message since I guess he can't hear me.
Somebody type when Dan's done.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to add. Let's just finish going through the slides, and then we will try to respond to your questions at the end of the slide presentation.
All right, thank you. All right, so I'm going to have you be patient and go back and slide over to the questions. All right, let's see, what questions do we have? Going all the way back here, hold on one second. I'm gonna flip through these questions here. What is the deadline on 4/7/2020? We already covered that. That's midnight. Not trying to game the system, but what if we issued a shortish loan with 6 months payments? The SBA would essentially pay off the whole loan. If you can prove to us that that is a good loan, and we will be looking at those loans, then go ahead and make it if it's going to help the borrower. If you're going to game the system, just remember the old banking adage, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. So if we feel you're abusing the situation, we'll remember. But when in doubt, give us a shout. We'll look at the loan and talk about it. The rules are what the rules are. It goes both ways. So don't game the system, but if you're essentially going to help somebody who needs a very, very small $5,000 PPP loan, and the banks aren't stepping up or whatever, and you can structure it, you can take a look at that. That's fine. Feel free to contact your analyst for clarification. That is a fair question. If the loans are in 3-month deferral, how is that reported in MPERS to get to July payment? Well, anytime you have a loan in deferment, you have it in with its payment. When it comes time to report, you're going to go into MPERS, and there's a button you push called No Change. And you push the No Change button, and then you pop in and write in loan in deferment till July for that loan. Do not report anything for that loan. Unreported loans in MPERS will not get paid CARES money. Make sure you report in MPERS. How do we communicate what the payment will be for each SBA loan? Our loans were not fully dispersed immediately. You needed to put the full payment in. You need to get in and put the full principal and interest payment into your MPERS loan and change it every time. So if you came in with a loan that was $10,000 and you gave somebody $100, the payment would be $10. Then you give them the $10,000. Now the payment's $100. You need to have the payment changed to $100. The issue is now you're not going to be able to change that payment. So you're going to have to contact an analyst with the microloan sequence numbers and what the payment should be immediately. So if a loan closes on 9/15/2020, they will still get 6 months. Correct. Even though the payments go past 9/27. Correct. Your microloans must close before 9/27. So if you close a loan on 9/26/2020, it will get 6 months payment. How will we handle seasonal payment schedules? You need to put in the regular principal and interest payment for that loan, and we will pay it. So that's what you'll have to do. So assume that seasonal loan, what it would be at 12 months, and get your payment applied accordingly. So not to be too coy about this, if we make a $10,000 emergency loan, we could amortize it over 6 months. Yes, I have beaten that pretty coldly. If you are coy, and we feel you're coy when we look at those loans, will remember. All right, we're all in this together. Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. So let's all take only what you need. We will be analyzing the portfolio. We can call you and ask to see what were the terms and conditions and what were the reasons you made that loan. And we will probably look at all these loans at the site visit as well. The original payment we entered into Empers was not fully dispersed, and we cannot change it. Correct. What you should have done is put in the full principal and interest payment into Empers and then slowly increase the payment amount, or you need to call the analyst every time you do a loan amount change. So you need to go get all the sequence numbers together and send them to your analyst immediately. Otherwise, they're only going to get paid the lower amount. Once you said we should enter loans in Empers prior to booking the loan to ensure we do not exceed the 50,000 mark for each borrower. Once I do this later, I cannot edit things in like jobs, etc. That's correct. If you end up putting it in and you need to make changes, you will have to contact us. That's why we're on till late at night at the moment. We're using the system we have. So by all means, what you need to do, and again, we can assist. You can reach out to your analyst, send the Social Security number. We can check the system as well to see if they have any open microloan available. We'll help you where we can. Do you either require or recommend that we modify microloans to our borrowers in writing to reflect this generous payment relief? No, it is just a payment we're paying on behalf. That's it. That's all that's going on. You can notify the borrower that we are paying their next 6 payments under the CARES Act, Section 1112. Period. That's it. No modification is needed. And that they will start paying. You let them know what that date is, depending upon when their loan closes or when it's active, etc. Will the 6 months payment be a taxable event for the borrower? That is a good question, and I believe the answer is no. I believe all of these events are tax-free. I'm going to unmute Dan. And you guys can, Dan, you can verify that as well, and somebody just let me know when he's done talking.
Okay, yep. Yeah, that's my understanding, is that this will not have a tax consequence on the microloan borrowers. I don't know that to be 100% true. We've got attorneys that are actually looking at that for us in the statute. Because we have the same question. We believe that the intent of the statute is that this relief would not have a tax consequence, but we'll have to get you final determination on that once we have it.
Okay, I think he has stopped talking. All right, so 6 minutes. Do microloans have to be paid off by EIDL? They're eligible to be paid off, but do not necessarily have to be, unless that's the terms and conditions that the borrower applied for the loan, saying they wanted to have it paid off. Section 112 mentions principal interest plus fees will be reimbursed. Can you explain the fees? I don't see any fees. Principal and interest is what we have in Empers. So that's what we have there. Keep in mind, this act covers things like 504 and 7A, and so they have SBA fees as transfer agents and Colson fees, etc. We have none of that during the payment section of the microloan. If a current client of ours qualifies for the current extension, but also wants a loan with us, is that possible? How would this work? Would we be giving money and they wouldn't have to pay for 6 months the total of the new money plus the current balance? Questions above for SBA microloan. Okay, again, so to play out this scenario, you have already a microloan in deferment for $10,000 for 6 months. It's deferred. We're paying on that at the end of that 6 months. They want to do another loan today for $10,000. We're going to pay on that one as well for 6 months. All right. If you have loans that are 5 years and are in deferment, can we offer extensions to the maturity dates? No. A microloan can never be more than 6 years old. Done. You had a window, a very limited window, unfortunately, of about 3 weeks to go to 7 years. That's it. Done. Can't do it now. You can extend the term. So what you can do is take the 6 month payments from the SBA now, and if you need to, then defer and or refinance that loan. Should there be specific language in the note regarding the CARE Act and the payment? No. Again, we're just paying that on behalf of the borrower. You just make your normal microloan and get the normal, fully amortizing principal and interest loan. And keep in mind, we have $17 billion. We can hear Dan, we can hear Dan, we can hear, yes, we can. We can hear Dan, Dan. All about Dan. I'm not even going to read that one. Let's see, go, all the way down to the bottom. I'm done talking now. Thank you. No specific language is needed. Still not able to view the slides. They weren't that exciting, and I'll be emailing them to you. Did I hear correctly that we have to ask the micro borrower whether to apply the SBA payment to the loan or send it to them directly? No, you did not hear that correctly. The SBA loan will be applied to the microloan. If the borrower happens to have sent you a payment this month or next month during the payment period while we're paying the loan, you must contact the borrower and say, hey, borrower, thanks for sending me that payment, but as a reminder, right now the SBA is paying your loan. What would you like me to do with the money you sent me, borrower? Borrower, would you like me to refund that money, borrower? Or would you like me to apply it to your loan, borrower? Or would you like me to do a full principal application, borrower? And they will email you back and tell you what to do. Hope I beat that to death. Okay, we've been making 84-month microloans, and you just heard you say 72 months max. If you made them, it's done. Just don't do any more, okay? It's over. Finish out what you got. Make it happen, captains. Sorry. If we get it changed back, we'll let you know. Things are fluid. The legislation went through really fast, and unfortunately, it stepped on our toes. We're micro people. We're used to it. And we're going to adjust to it. And we'll try to fix it. But at this point in time, you can't make any more 84-month terms. You can only do this 6 year. Can you explain how the payments need to be the client account? It's a little confusing on how they are supposed to be applied because of the 6 month deferment. All right, let's do it again. Loans in deferment for 6 months. When the loan comes out of deferment, you start applying the SBA payment for 6 months. Regular principal and interest payments. That's it. Okay, can we get a list sooner rather than later of the payments? I would love to do everything sooner than later, but unfortunately we're moving as hard as we can. Please keep in mind there's only 7 of us doing all of this work. It's been a long days, weekends and nights, but we're getting it done. But you're going to help us. You should know what your payments are on your loans. So please check them out on Impers and send them to us. They're there. Okay, do we need to add specific language? No, we beat that to death. The ASBA will be covering the payment 6 months. No languages needed. If existing loan recipient needs additional capital, we can refinance the loan with an existing debt and new ask. I guess what you're saying is you have an existing SBA loan and you want to give them extra capital and combine everything into one loan. Yes, you could do that. And then we would make the payment, correct. Will the normal goals of loans for lender for the TA grant be in place this year? Yes, I think everybody should be knocking the microloan 10 loan minimum right out of the park. If not, we'll be having a conversation about that. All right, hang on, scrolling down. So there is currently a long delay in borrowers receiving approval and ultimate approval of disaster loans. So we can do a $50,000 microloan as long as they don't already have too much microloan. The maximum loan at any given time somebody can have with our program is $50,000. That is correct. If they are applying for a disaster loan, an EIDL loan, you would identify that the microloan is for a bridge loan and the purpose is for the EIDL loan, disaster loan, to pay this loan off. Please note that the PPP loan is not a disaster or EIDL loan. PPP loans will not pay off microloans, but you have the right idea, Vicki. Is the SBA ILP impacted by this? No. Let's see. If you have already executed loan modification prior to CARES Act notification, did you need it void? If you've already put the people on deferment or a modification, then you will go ahead and keep them on the whatever the principal and interest payment is after the deferment is completed. Woo, okay, let's go. Is something we can offer publicly when promoting and talking about borrowers, 3-month deferral and 6-month payment forgiveness? This is only going to last till the money lasts. So, you put it out there and we run out of money. That would be unfortunate. I think we're going to have enough money for you guys to continue doing your principal and interest payments. And, how you market it, go for it. It is not 6-month payment forgiveness, by the way. We are making 6 months payments for them. That is not forgiveness. Please do not use that term. So on new loans, we are able to charge the borrower the fees, including third-party fees. No, there are no third-party fees. This is a microloan. Wait, just to make sure. So if a borrower has more than one microloan, they can get payments covered for multiple loans as long as the total value does not exceed $50,000. Correct. I love the candid way this call is going. Yeah, well, we'll see. The questions are still coming, so. You all are working like crazy. We know it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, thank you very much. So let's see here. We believe in this. We really do. We always have. That's why we have very limited turnover. They either retire, which, by the way, everybody that had Janice, she retired. Like Bill retired. They just eventually want to enjoy life. But not like Dan and I, we have no life, and we live for microloan and for correcting your microloan monthly payment, as well as our analysts. Could the SBA payments under the CARES Act be applied first, and then the borrower could utilize the deferment? Why, yes. Yes, it could. You are the lender. You got the power. It's almost like a song, isn't it? Okay, let's see. Dan, to see the payment amount, the lender would have to go into each microloan by hitting the sequence number link. Thank you, Dan. All right, we're kind of getting to the end. Let's see here. Okay, with 6 months deferment of all our SBA microloan and SBA cover the principal and interest for all the clients as SBA lender, do we need to submit any paperwork at all? Why, yes. Yes, you do, Steve. I just said, my last slide said you still have to update MPERS. You've got to go hit no change for every microloan you have in deferment. You have to apply the payments we're sending you to those microloans and update MPERS. Then you're going to still submit us the Murph and Lurf reconciliation report so we can do the quarterly. And then you're going to get grant money because you're going to be doing technical assistance during this whole time, hopefully ensuring the success of these businesses beyond this crisis. So paperwork is your middle name, Steve, just like it's mine. Christopher Paperwork Webb. Okay, so please do not let me give you the impression that we're handing you money and you have to do nothing. I'm trying to tell you, you got a lot of work to do. Okay. How will we know the money has run out? The piggy bank will break and nothing will fall out. We will also, trust me, be giving you updates as we feel necessary that we are running out of money. Seriously. Okay, that's why the first part was constantly keep checking our websites and check in with your analysts. I feel that we are very good shape to handle what we anticipate is a microloan increase in lending during this time. As long as some people said, not wanting to be coy or game the system. But if I'll be running a whole bunch of different formulas. If we see gamers gaming, we're going to play too. All right. So if you need it, get it. If you don't game the system. All right. Do you know if there will be an issue if a micro bridge loan that gets SBA payments covered through the SBA will be an issue when the idle loan? No, you just pay it off and then the payments stop. You let us know. And the EEIG $10,000 grant. It's technically double dipping. Well, I can let Dan talk about that. Each one was used for different purposes. You're giving a working capital, you're giving a bridge loan, we're making payments on it, and they're taking over whatever the balance is. So right now, that's how the CARES Act is written. What do you mean about the pig? You're going to have to ask that. No barbecue here today. Do you mean piggyback? If we're piggybacking loans? Or bridge? I'm not sure. You'll have to ask your question again. Cap, you repeat the info about how to change the payment amount on the system. I'm sure that's can you repeat how you change the payment amount on the system? Yes, you will. You've got to give us the microloan sequence number, and you're going to have to send that to your microloan analyst who's drinking a lot of coffee and Mountain Dew to be up tonight, and we'll change the payment in the MPERS system. So between now and midnight, we want to be your best friend. So make it happen, captains. And now you're seeing the importance of putting in the correct payment to start with. Do we put payments all on the loan due dates or like the first of the month? Whenever you sign the note, whatever you do, we're doing the payments by the month. You apply them appropriately. You love my enthusiasm. Thank you. That's all I've got left. Other than we are doing an ugly beard contest. Dan's winning. Okay, if you know you're still working on details, but I'm guessing that if we have multiple loans from SBA, then you will be depositing the payments into the individual Murph accounts. You are correct. I'm going to hire you and bring you on over, Allison. That's right. That's why we collect that Murph and Lurf information. We'll be sending the money to the Murph accounts as they are appropriate so that you can apply accordingly, and the payment schedule will be laid out in similar fashion. Okay, most entertaining call ever. Well, let me introduce you to a thing called Netflix. All right. You are, or any other product that streams movies. I'm not endorsing any of those. Are the lender payments to the SBA deferred for 6 months as well? Why, yes. Yes, they are. As I mentioned earlier, the SBA loans to the micro lenders can be deferred, but interest will still accrue. At the end of the 6-month period, we will then recast and send you a payment. He said pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. Hey, thank you. That's the pig thing. You know, I say it just right off the top of my head. That was my first lesson in banking. So there you go. So there we go. Let's see. We're coming down toward the end. Do we continue invoicing our clients or do we stop? Can we send out a letter to our clients that the SBA will be making the payments for the next 6 months, and if they wish, they can continue to make payments on their loan, decreasing their principal balance? Yes, 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 and yep. I would keep invoicing them and letting them know that although they're being invoiced, that a payment has been applied on behalf of the SBA for their loan. And if they would like to send in a payment, they would need to tell you what to do with it. And if they don't want to send in a payment, it's okay. All right. Thanks, everyone on the SBA for all that you do, except for Dan. I can't believe you wrote that. Okay. Dan, SBA loan deferrals must be requested. They are not automatic. There we go. That is true. Let's see. Per Dan's comment, there's no report showing the payment amounts for all active loans. Correct. I guess Dan is correct. So what you'll need to do, hopefully you know the payments of your own loans, and you knew the payment you put into MPERS, which would hopefully be the payment in your own loan system. So you will need to then get all your sequence numbers together and put your payments on there. That seems like the way we got to run that. Dan, do you mean the clients must request the deferral? Yes. You can't just tell all your people, you just can't defer your entire pipeline automatically. You have to request a deferral or your loan to be deferred from us. We're making you do that, and your borrowers need to do that. Maybe your borrowers don't want to be deferred and they wanted to make their payment. So do keep that in mind. All right, guess what? I've gotten to the end of all of those questions. I'm going to have a drink of water. I'm going to give it a minute and see if anybody else has more questions. All right, let's see. What do we got? Dan says intermediaries must request the SBA to defer their loan. You could arrange deferrals with your small businesses without SBA involvement. Well, that is correct. Yeah, but you really should talk to your borrower about their deferrals. You shouldn't do anything automatically without not communicating to your borrower base. All right. What do we do if our borrower do not want to defer their loans and refuse to sign an allonge we draft? Well, then you don't defer the loan. We make an SBA payment. They're making an extra payment, and you say, hey, borrower, what would you like to do with that extra payment? Apply it to principal or make an additional payment? You got your borrower should be empowered during this time. All right, so give them the choice. It seems you use the word deferral for most borrowers in two ways. How do we enter into MPERS if we want SBA to cover 6 months starting now? Okay, so microloan lender. You have talked to your borrower and they have said, I could really use a deferral now. And you say, not a problem. And you document that in your file. You now go into MPERS every month and you look up that borrower and you hit no change, no change, no change, no change, no change, no change. For 6 months, once a month, 6 times, no change. And when you hit no change, a box opens up, and in there you're going to write loan on deferral until whatever the date is. And that's how you would do it. Okay, our customers are not aware of which fund we applied for microloans, but the SBA fund borrowers will get the debt relief, and the borrowers of the CDFI fund and others will not. How do we explain this to the borrowers? Well, how did you explain that you were pooling loans? Hopefully you did. Bottom line is you're only going to get principal and interest on the SBA portion of their loans. I don't know what the other agencies are doing. So you will have to address that with your borrowers. So good luck. But we're only sending you the principal and interest for that portion. Will the SBA pay if no change is selected in the deferral statement reason? No, I'm not going to pay you during the deferral. When am I going to pay you? At the end of the deferral, and you can apply the 6 months. So during the deferral, we might be sending you the money. You'll have to hold that into escrow and then apply it. How do we list the loan if the SBA is to pay? The loan is current. Well, how do you list it when the borrower pays it? Same way. You just happen to be getting money for the next 6 months from the SBA. So if the loan is in payment and you get money from the SBA, you apply it as if the borrower paid you. If the borrower also sent money, you will need to communicate with the borrower, as I've said many times, and ask them how that payment should be addressed, refunded or applied. Okay, here we go. For all new loans, can we confident that the payments will be covered for 6 months and the money will not run out? Do you budget the 6 months up front for each loan made? Yes, we did. And we have kind of an idea of how much you're going to do. We'll take a look at the first month. We're working with the CFO. As long as people don't game the system, we're going to be fine. And there's all sorts of stuff going on the Hill. So hopefully if we need more money, we'll get it. Can signature be typed until wet into signature? Sure. Absolutely. As long as it's a signature and you're replacing it within 6 months, I'm happy. As long as it is not encrypted. Thank you. Great question. And it was a different one. Okay, so do I understand that we will get one lump sum payments for all 6 months instead of one? Vicki, that's a great question. I don't know yet. So you guys will have to hold the door on that until we finish working it out. Believe it or not, we've never done this before. So we're figuring it out. My guess is we're going to send it to you monthly. Please note that is a guess. But if, the lazy part of me would love to send you 6 months, but I could see a lot of problems with that. So with that being said, I would expect us to send it to you every month with a payment schedule, and you will apply it accordingly. Let's see. Will we put in Emperor's quarterly or monthly? Nancy, I think you're going to have to put it in monthly, considering you want to be paid monthly. So it's going to be a little bit more of a lift on you a little bit, but that guaranteed money will make things go so much smoother right now, I think. So yeah, I think you need to show us that you apply the money. Thank you for all the great info. Well, okay. I just told you I guessed something, so don't thank me yet. Let's get the first month done. But I do promise after we get through this first month, things will get a lot easier. And we will get everything worked out, and we're going to get everybody into a better habit about their payment because it's important. I'm still confused what happened to the 7-year term. Me too. Welcome to the club. But I'll tell you what happened when they did the CARES Act. They wanted to suspend a whole bunch of different stuff, and they accidentally included us. So the 7-year term was eliminated because it was an interim rule. So that reverted it back to 6 years. So now you still have 6-year microloans. The bottom line is Dan's working very, very hard to try to get that back. But until then, you have 6 years. Where can we find the change in the CARES Act? Well, you can look up the CARES Act at sba.gov. You can look on the internet, and you want to look at section 1112. Okay, looking forward to the conference later this year. Oh my God, what a plug! I love that. There is no conference at the moment. Thanks for throwing that out there, and a great reminder. At this particular time, most of you probably heard from our co-host, AEO, that they are not doing the conference here at the beginning of May in Houston. They are currently trying to work out things for the fall. We don't know if that's going to happen yet, but at this particular time, they have canceled all of the hotel reservations, and the hotel should have released their money. If you have a plane reservation, I would work with them to cancel it if it hasn't already been done automatically. So do keep that in mind. And so once we know something about the conference, we will let you know. I think by hook or crook, we're going to do something in the fall. It may be virtual, maybe on TV. I don't know. We're trying to work that out. I was hoping for an animated series personally, so I could use all my voices. All right, let's see. Where can I find changes? CARES Act, internet, look it up. Let's see. Thanks, Dan. Really, Dan? Okay, sure. But it's with a little d, Dan. Just saying. Okay. They rescinded the interim rule that allowed the change to the 7 years. There's capital D, Dan, giving you the answer. Bottom line is, oops, we're paying 6 months and we took away a year of your microloan. Sorry about that. We'll fix it, hopefully, maybe, possibly. Okay. I have, let's see, how long have I tortured you? An hour exactly. Unintended consequences. I like that, Dan. Spelled correctly. Oh, nice. Okay, so with that, I've beaten you up for an hour. You guys have a lot to do. You need to make sure your payments are correct. If they are not correct, you need to grab that sequence number and tell us the correct payment and send that over to your very, very busy analyst. Oh, wait, do the cost budgeted for the conference this year be extended? Yeah, or what you'll probably end up doing is the conference, yeah, you can extend that money. You can modify the current loan and modify the new, not the new loan, the grant. There's probably some grant modifications you're going to have to do if you need that money for something better than going to a conference right now. Can't imagine you do. So as I was mentioning, please make sure your payments are right. Give or take, a few bucks. Apply the sequence numbers, send them over ASAP. Let's see here. I'm going to flip through. I'm no longer sharing the screen, but I'm just going to look at my notes here real quick. We have covered the e-signature. We have talked about getting the sequence numbers and payments correct. Grants still targeted to end on April 17th. Let's see. Make sure we've beaten that to death. We've beaten that to death. We've talked all about the CARES Act. We've talked about it no time. Can the loan exceed $50,000? We've also talked about all the other rules of the SBA are still in effect. We all now know the difference between EIDL and PPP. We've talked about deferments. The best way to get hold of us is email. And the best source for the any SBA information is the SBA or your analyst, Dan or myself. Please do not look at third party anything as it relates to what's going on. I've seen lots of erroneous and messed up stories out there. If you weeded all the dandelions out of my front yard, that you would get a bonus grant. That is not true. That is not going to happen. It's Dan's front yard. No, that's not true either. You're going to see it on our website. Okay. I've seen people run around and talk about different products and everything, and it, is slightly off, not correct. You need to check our website. As I already mentioned, we're not even sure how those payments are going to be sent to you, whether it's monthly or one lump sum. They are coming this month. So we're in a fluid situation. We're going to keep you apprised of how the payments are going to be coming. And we will let you know how the piggy bank is emptying off of that $17 billion. How will the payments to the micro borrowers be sent? Those payments will be sent to you by wire. I'm very highly positively convinced that's how they will come, along with a schedule of how you will apply it to those microloans. And then you will update MPERS. So, and they will probably be wired into the MRF account. That is our current plan. And should anything change, I'll let you know. All right. I think we have beaten it to death. Oh, wait. Nope, not yet. Chuck says, nay, nay. We have more beating. Thought I saw with the scanned signature borrower had sent copy of driver's license. Is that true? We need to know who they are. Dan says yes, and we need to know who they are. And you're getting a little copy scribble. We just want to know who they are. Once you get the blue ink signature, you can get rid of the driver's license. Ooh, read the notice carefully. Okay, Nancy, what do we got? If we list current payment at MPERS and then send us the payment, we wouldn't need to enter it again, correct? That's correct. I can't imagine why you would change it on me after I started paying you, and we're paying for the next 6 months. So we just have to get through this honeymoon period, Nancy, and then everything will be great, I promise. Of course. There we go. You've got it. All right, anybody else? Anything else? Y'all doing okay, I'm assuming. All right, so with that, thank you very much. The countdown is on. You have 9 hours. Make it happen, captains. Appreciate your mission. Appreciate what you do. Oh, Bethany, how do we handle borrowers who might pay off within the next few months? We figured that out for you, Bethany. We're going to stop paying them. That's how we roll. If they were only going to get 4 payments, that's all we're going to pay them. If they're only going to get 1 payment, that's what we're going to do. All righty. So, good question. We got that one knocked out of the park. All right, guys. Start feeling free to log off. If you have more questions, go ahead. I'm going to hang out for about 1 minute. And thank you for the mission you do and how you're doing it. We're all working remotely as well. So it's incredible the effort that everybody's putting forth. Thank you.
Hello, Chris. I'm sorry. The Skype link was not working.
Last question. Oh, you say that. You say it's the last question. Will the payment from the SBA sent to us cover all the clients for 6 months? What day should we expect the payment in our MRF account? It'll happen sometime this month, Steve. I don't know yet, and it'll only cover the payments who are 121 days or less. Not all. If they're over 121, you got to charge them off. If a client made arrangements to make extra payments each month to do, we'll let you know as soon. If the borrower's paying you anything during the 6-month SBA period, You contact that borrower. They have the right to get the money back or have the payments applied any way they want. All the principal, bonus, that's it. And then you document your file. Put that email and put it in there. All righty.
Chris, can you hear me?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's been about 15, 20 seconds. Nobody had anything else to add in regards to a question. So once again, I say thank you. Watch your emails. We will send written updates. We'll also send these slides, and we will keep you posted. Somebody said I can hear you, but Chris can't. That's true. Somebody trying to talk?
Yes.
So with that in mind, once again, thank you. Watch it, and we'll have more webinars to get you as much information as we can. Thank you. Goodbye.